I never thought I would decide I wanted to marry my boyfriend because of something he did for my little brother. But one birthday changed everything. My little brother, Jamie, was 6 years old and had recently started at a new school. He was having a really hard time making friends because he didn't know anyone. So when his birthday came around, my mom helped him make invitations for his entire class. Jamie was nervous handing them out, but he was also incredibly excited. He kept talking about his birthday party all week. My mom went all out. She decorated the house, prepared food, planned games, and even rented a bouncy house. When Jamie came home and saw everything, he practically jumped out of his shoes. He was so excited. He thought this was finally going to be the day he'd make a bunch of new friends. I, on the other hand, wasn't nearly as excited. I didn't exactly want to spend my afternoon surrounded by a house full of screaming 6-year-olds. So before the party started, I went to my bedroom, put on my headphones, and stayed there. I was scrolling through my phone when I suddenly realized something. It was way too quiet. There was supposed to be absolute chaos happening downstairs, but I couldn't hear anything. I took off my headphones and listened. Nothing. I opened my bedroom door. Still nothing. I walked into the living room expecting to see a dozen kids running around, but there wasn't a single child there. Then I heard my mom on the phone. She sounded confused and upset. She was asking another parent, "Why didn't she come? Didn't she get the invitation?" I slowly walked around the corner, and that's when I saw Jamie. He was sitting completely alone on the couch. He still had his little birthday crown on. There were balloons everywhere. The bouncy house sat completely empty in the backyard. The cotton candy machine was ready to go, but there were no kids. Not one. My mom kept calling parents, trying to figure out what happened. Everyone had an excuse. Their child was suddenly sick. They were too tired. Something had come up. But the truth was obvious. Nobody had come to Jamie's birthday, and he was sitting there quietly crying by himself. It was one of the saddest things I'd ever seen. I couldn't even let him see me crying too. So I went back to my room and called my boyfriend. The second he heard my voice, he knew something was wrong. He asked me what happened. I told him everything. I said, "My little brother spent the entire week planning his birthday party, and nobody came. Not one kid. He's devastated, and I don't know what to do." There was a short silence. Then my boyfriend simply said, "Okay, I'm coming over." And he hung up. I thought he was going to come over and comfort me. Maybe he'd bring me something to cheer me up. I had absolutely no idea what he was planning. About 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang. My mom opened the door, and standing there was my boyfriend, with 5 of his college friends. They were all huge basketball players, all over 6 feet tall, and every single one was holding a little gift bag. My boyfriend looked inside and loudly asked, "Where's the birthday boy?" Jamie slowly peeked out from behind my mom. His eyes were still red and swollen from crying. My boyfriend immediately dropped down to Jamie's level. He smiled and said, "Hey buddy, sorry we're late to your party." Then he added, "You're Jamie, right? Your sister told us you're the coolest 6-year-old in town." Jamie didn't know what to think. He just nodded. Then one of my boyfriend's friends looked outside and shouted, "Wait, is that a bouncy house?" Another guy yelled, "No way! This is awesome!" And suddenly everything changed. These 6 giant college athletes took off their shoes and climbed into a bouncy house designed for little kids. They were so tall that their heads almost touched the roof. Jamie couldn't believe what he was seeing. For the first time that day, he smiled. They played every game my mom had prepared. They ran around with him. They joked with him. And when Jamie went after the piñata, those guys cheered like he was playing in a championship game. When he finally broke it open, they started chanting, "Jamie, Jamie, Jamie." They even lifted him into the air. Then my boyfriend brought out a wrapped present. Somehow, he figured out exactly which Lego set Jamie wanted. The second Jamie saw it, his entire face lit up. They all gathered around and sang happy birthday. And that's when Jamie started crying again. But this time, they were happy tears. He hugged both of us, and as he blew out the candles, he was smiling through the tears. By the end of the night, Jamie was completely exhausted. He had laughed, played, eaten cake, opened presents, and spent the entire evening surrounded by people who genuinely wanted to be there. He had completely forgotten about the kids who didn't show up. Later, as I tucked him into bed, he looked at me and asked, "They said I can hang out with them anytime. Do you think they really meant it?" I smiled and told him, "Yes, they absolutely meant it." He fell asleep almost immediately, and I stood there thinking about my boyfriend. He didn't have to do any of that. He could have simply called me, told me everything would be okay, and gone on with his day. Instead, he heard that a little kid was heartbroken, and he immediately gathered 5 friends and showed up. He didn't just make my brother's birthday better. He gave him a memory he would probably never forget. And that's when I realized something. I don't want to marry someone because they buy me expensive gifts or say all the right things. I want to marry someone who sees a little kid crying alone and thinks, "I'm going to fix this." So yeah, My boyfriend made my little brother cry on his birthday. Happy tears. And that's exactly why I'm going to marry him.